After losing beloved stars like Barbara Walters and Kirstie Alley in the final days of 2022, fans have been saddened to hear of more celebrity deaths in the early days of 2023. From Lisa Loring to Earl Boen, here are the famous American actors who died in the first month of 2023. Lisa Loring. Lisa Loring, who portrayed Wednesday Addams on The Addams Family in the 1960s, passed away on January 28th following a stroke brought on by her smoking and high blood pressure, as reported by her agency and friends. Friend and author Lori Jacobson said on Facebook that Loring suffered a huge stroke brought on by smoking and high blood pressure, and was on life support for 3 days until her family opted to turn it off over the weekend. She was 64. Born Lisa Ann DeCinces in the Marshall Islands in 1958, Loring started her career as a child model. She soon got a part on the medical drama Dr. Kildare. At the age of 5.5, she got the part of Wednesday in the first movie based on the Charles Addams New Yorker cartoons. Soon after, Loring began making guest appearances on shows including The Girl from U.N.C.L.E., Fantasy Island, Barnaby Jones, As the World Turns, Savage Harbor, and Dr. Spine. Her performance as the macabre Addams daughter, with her gothic style and classic pigtails, has echoed through films and TV, and it has had a big impact on how the character has been portrayed since. A dance emulating Lori's angular steps from the original series has become popular, thanks to a Netflix remake featuring Jenna Ortega. After the dance's viral success, Ortega expressed gratitude to Loring. Annie Wersching. Annie Wersching was born in St. Louis on March 28, 1977. In 2002, she made her acting debut on Star Trek Enterprise as a guest star. She had roles on Frasier, Angel, Charmed, Boston Legal, and Supernatural. In 2009, she was cast as FBI Special Agent Renee Walker on the 7th season of 24. In 2013, she voiced Tess in the video game The Last of Us. Anna Torrey played Tess in the HBO version of the show. She was an actress who was best known for her roles on 24, Bosch, and Runaways. Wersching also had major roles in The Vampire Diaries, Extant, Timeless, and The Rookie. One of her last parts was in Season 2 of the Star Trek Picard, which was exactly 20 years after she first appeared on screen in an episode of Star Trek Enterprise. She died on January 29th after a long fight with cancer. Her husband and her 3 children, Freddie, Ozzy, and Archie, survive her. A GoFundMe account has been set up to help the family. Sylvia Syms. The Associated Press reported that British actress Sylvia Syms died peacefully at Denville Hall, a London retirement home for actors and entertainers, on January 27th. She was 89. Syms was born in London in 1934. She graduated from London's Royal Academy of Dramatic Art before starting a 64-year career in entertainment. During that time, she played Sister Diana Murdoch in the war movie Ice Cold and Alex, sang and danced with Cliff Richard in Espresso Bongo, and played the wife of a gay lawyer in Victim, the first British film to talk openly about homosexuality. At 16, she had a nervous breakdown and thought about killing herself. At her stepmother's insistence, she went to therapy, which helped her to get through the crisis. Syms went to drama school because she wanted to be an actress. Like many aspiring actors, she got her start in London's West End, where she understudied roles in many plays, including The Apple Cart with Noel Coward. Amanda Bynes played one of her other roles in the movie What a Girl Wants, which came out in 2003. Between 2007 and 2010, she made occasional TV appearances as dressmaker Olive Woodhouse on EastEnders. Syms continued to act in movies and TV shows until 2019. She had parts in 1974's The Tamarind Seed, 2003's What a Girl Wants, and 2006's The Queen, which starred Helen Mirren as the Queen Mother. Cindy Williams. Star of the classic comedy Laverne and Shirley, Cindy Williams passed away on January 25. She was 75 years old. Williams played Shirley on Happy Days for the first time in 1975, while Penny Marshall played Laverne. Since they were such popular characters, Gary Marshall gave them their own show, which ran from 1976 to 1983 on ABC. Laverne and Shirley was one of the most watched shows in the country for many years. Williams was in more than 150 episodes, but she left early in the 8th and final season because she and Marshall had a lot of problems on set. In 2018, Marshall died at the age of 75. Williams' children, Emily and Zach Hudson, will carry on after she's gone. Bill Hudson, a musician, was her former husband. She played Laurie Henderson, Ron Howard's high school girlfriend in George Lucas's American Graffiti. And she played Anne, a target of Gene Hackman's surveillance specialist Harry Call in Francis Ford Coppola's The Conversation. Williams made her Broadway debut in 2007 with The Drowsy Chaperone, and she appeared as a guest performer on series including 8 Simple Rules and Law & Order SVU. Lance Kerwin. Lance Kerwin, a child actor who became famous for his parts in the coming-of-age drama James at 16 and the Stephen King miniseries Salem's Lot, passed away on January 24th at the age of 62. Kerwin's career began in the 70s, and he acted in over 50 films and television series. When James at 16, retitled from James at 15, premiered in 1977 and ran through 1978, he became an instant teen idol, playing a young man moving to Boston with his family from Oregon. Kerwin's leading role on James at 15 made him a teen idol despite the show's short run. The teen sensation of the 1970s was so beloved by female fans that he appeared on the covers of several fan publications, including Tiger Beat. Along with Outbreak, Kerwin was on the TV shows Wonder Woman, Little House on the Prairie, The Family Hovac, The New Lassie, and Insight. After being away from acting for many years, he had recently gotten a small part in the independent movie The Wind and the Reckoning. He was born on November 6, 1960, in Newport Beach, California. Kerwin is survived by Savannah, Fox, Tara, Kailani, and Justice, his 5 children. Gina Lollobrigida. Lollobrigida grew up in a poor family, but she became one of the most famous movie stars of the 1950s and 1960s, when she acted with stars like Humphrey Bogart, Rock Hudson, Burt Lancaster, Tony Curtis, and Frank Sinatra. Lollobrigida, called, quote, the most beautiful woman in the world after World War II, died on January 15th at the age of 95. After World War II, the Italian movie star became well known for movies like Solomon and Sheba, Trapeze, Buenos Aires, Mrs. Campbell, and Come September, which were all comedies. She was also a good sculptor, photographer, and artist. She stopped acting in 1997, but she stayed in the public eye. She went back to her first loves of painting and sculpture and even ran for European Parliament in 1999, but didn't win. Her work has been shown all over the world, and she won many awards, including the Legion of Honor from France as a, quote, artiste de valeur. She said earlier this year that she was going to run for Senate. In August, Lollobrigida said, quote, I was just sick of hearing politicians argue without ever getting to the point. Italy is in bad shape, and I want to do something good and positive, end quote. Al Brown. Al Brown, who played the smart and scary Baltimore Police Department Commissioner Stan Velchek on HBO's The Wire, died on January 13th in Las Vegas at age 83. Brown started acting later in life after having been in the Air Force for 29 years. In the 1990s, he started out in Hollywood with small roles on TV. Brown was a guest star on many TV shows, such as Rescue Me, Commander-in-Chief, Forensic Files, and Law & Order Special Victims Unit. But he was best known for playing Walczek, a smart Polish-American police chief in all 5 seasons of The Wire. His character played a big part in Season 2, which was about corruption at Baltimore's shipping docks, and Walczek's small fight with dock worker union boss Frank Sobotka over the gift of a stained-glass window to a local church. Even though Brown's Stan Velchek was one of many scary and funny characters on The Wire, he was a fan favorite because of the actor's comedic timing and cocky attitude. Robbie Knievel. Daredevil Robbie Knievel, the son of Evel Knievel and a stuntman known for making motorcycle jumps that broke records, died on January 13th after a long fight with pancreatic cancer. He was 60. Knievel started jumping his bike when he was just 4 years old, and by the time he was 7, he knew how to ride a motorcycle. When he was 8, he did his first show with his father at Madison Square Garden. When he was 12, he went on tour with his father and performed in the pre-jump shows. Between 1975 and 1976, Knievel went to Central Catholic High School in Butte, Montana, but he never graduated. He wanted to make his jumps longer, but his father told him not to. After his father gave him the okay, Knievel went off on his own. During his life, Captain Robbie Knievel set 20 world records and performed countless dangerous jumps. 20 years after his dad's failed attempt, Knievel was able to jump the fountains at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas in 1989. In 1999, Knievel did something that his father had always wanted to do. He cleared a part of the Grand Canyon. In the course of his career, he jumped over 30 limousines, 5 military planes, a moving train, and the space between two 13-story buildings. Knievel was also the star of Knievel's Wild Ride, an A&E reality show from 2005. Ben Masters. Ben Masters, who played billionaire Julian Crane on the soap opera Passions, died on January 11th at the age of 75. He had been fighting dementia and COVID-19 complications while he was sick. Masters moved to New York City and got a part in The Boys in the Band, an off-Broadway play. He also did Kevin Wade's Key Exchange off-Broadway for 13 months. Captain Brassbound's Conversion, starring Ingrid Bergman, and The Cherry Orchard, starring Irene Worth, Raul Julia, and Meryl Streep, were his next Broadway plays. Masters played Nick, the older brother of the main character on the Saturday morning show Muggsy, which ran from 1976 to 1977. Masters got his start in daytime dramas in 1982 when he played Vic Strang for 3 months on Another World. He later played Link Bartlett, a business thief, in the 1988 TV miniseries Noble House. Masters was one of the guests on The Reunion, a 2-hour episode of Walker, Texas Ranger that aired in 1994. In 1999, he signed a deal to play the womanizing billionaire Julian Crane on the NBC show Passions. In 2001 and 2002, the Soap Opera Digest Awards nominated him for Outstanding Supporting Actor, and in 2005, he was nominated for Outstanding Lead Actor. The actor was also in shows on Broadway and in movies like All That Jazz, Key Exchange, Dream Lover, and Making Mr. Right. But he was best known for his role as the cheating billionaire on Passions, which he played in a whopping 772 episodes. For this role, he was nominated for 3 Soap Opera Digest Awards. Masters had many other roles on TV over the years, including in the miniseries Celebrity and Noble House, and on shows like Kojak, Petrocelli, Touched by an Angel, Kung Fu, The Legend Continues, Barnaby Jones, Diagnosis Murder, Sisters, and Pensacola, Wings of Gold. Carole Cook. Carole Cook, a comedienne who became famous with Lucille Ball's help and guidance, died on January 11th. She was 3 days away from turning 99. Mildred Cook was born in Abilene, Texas. After Carole Lombard, Ball suggested that Cook change her first name to Carole. Ball asked Cook to try out for her Desilu workshop after she read a review of her performance in Annie, Get Your Gun. After Cook signed with Ball's production company and Ball divorced Desi Arnaz, Cook even moved in with the famous comedienne. Cook went on to be in a number of movies and TV shows. She worked with Ball on The Lucy Show and Here Comes Lucy, played Don Knotts' wife in The Incredible Mr. Limpet, and had memorable parts in American Gigolo and 16 Candles. As a frequent guest actress, she was on shows like That Girl and Maude, Charlie's Angels and Kojak, Starsky and Hutch and Laverne and Shirley, Dynasty, and of course, The Love Boat. In 2018, Cook got into trouble when she asked, quote, "Where's John Wilkes Booth when you need him?" end quote, after saying that the best way to deal with then-President Donald Trump was to kill him. Because of this, the Secret Service went to see Cook. She said, quote, "They couldn't have been nicer," end quote. Of the incident, she quipped, "I said, I can't go to prison. The stripes are horizontal. They don't look good on me." Melinda Dillon. Melinda Dillon, who was best known for her role as Mrs. Parker in the 1983 movie A Christmas Story, passed away on January 9. She was 83 years old. Dillon had a long career and was nominated for an Oscar twice, once for her role as a single mom in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and once for her role as a sheltered Catholic woman in Absence of Malice. Dillon was also nominated for a Tony for her Broadway debut as Honey in the first production of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf in 1962. She also played important parts in the movies Magnolia, Bound for Glory, Slapshot, Harry and the Hendersons, and The Prince of Tides. In movies, she played some lighter parts, like a family with a Sasquatch in Harry and the Hendersons, 1987, which starred John Lithgow, and Slapshot, which starred Paul Newman. In Bound for Glory, a 1976 movie about Woody Guthrie, Dillon played both Guthrie's wife, Mary, and a folk singer, Memphis Sue. Dillon returned to Broadway in 1967 with the hit You Know I Can't Hear You When the Water's Running. She was on shows like The Jeffersons and Picket Fences. She married and divorced Richard Libertini, an actor. She leaves behind a son, Adam Rich. In the 1970s, Adam Rich became known as a TV icon of innocence. However, he struggled with drugs and depression. He later worked to improve his mental health. When Rich first got help for his depression, he was in his early 30s. He had trouble finding the right medicine, but in 2020 he started talking about mental health on Twitter and got a small following. He was a former child star who played Nicholas Bradford on the sitcom 8 is Enough, which ran on ABC from 1977 to 1981. He died on January 7th at his home in Los Angeles. He was 54 years old. No one knows what caused the death. Rich was in many TV shows and movies in the late 1970s, 1980s, and 1990s, including Chips, Fantasy Island, Small Wonder, Dungeons & Dragons, Code Red, and Baywatch. In 2003, the comedy film Dickie Roberts' former child star had him play himself for a short time. In the TV movies 8 is Enough, A Family Reunion, and 8 is Enough, Wedding, he played the youngest Bradford son again, Earl Boen. Earl Boen, who played Dr. Peter Silberman in the Terminator movies and had a lot of other roles, died on January 5 in Hawaii. He was 81. In the fall of 2022, the actor was told by a friend and his family that he had stage 4 lung cancer. Over the course of his 3 decades-long career in the entertainment industry, Boen displayed his acting prowess in more than 250 films, television series, and video games. Many people recognize him from his portrayal as the terrifying Dr. Silberman in the film Terminator, which was released in 1984, Terminator 2: Judgment Day, which was released in 1991, Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines, which was released in 2003, and Terminator Dark Fate, which was released in 2019. All featured him playing the same role. As a voice actor, Boen was known for playing Mr. Bleakman in Clifford the Big Red Dog, Senor Senior in Kim Possible, the narrator in World of Warcraft, and Captain LeChuck in the Monkey Island video game series. His wife Kathy, his daughter Ruby, and his grandchildren Kimmy Abarisha and Kimo Harbin will miss him. People come and go, it's just the way it is. But these actors left a mark on the entertainment industry. They will forever be remembered with the many movies, films, and TV shows they appeared in. Fans will always think of them as their characters, and they will always be remembered. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.